This is my new book, A Faithful Guide to Philosophy, subtitled A Christian Introduction to the Love of Wisdom. Any introduction to philosophy book you get will, of course, be written by someone who has a certain viewpoint, and I'm being very upfront and explicit about what my viewpoint is, but I invite you to engage with the arguments and the concepts in this book and make your own mind up on all of these issues. But I particularly also want to encourage Christians to get interested and involved in the world of philosophy, and to see that philosophy is not something that is by nature opposed to Christian discipleship or belief, but it's something that very naturally and comfortably fits with Christian spirituality. This book is for anyone that wants an introduction to philosophy, particularly if you're interested in issues around the existence of God, understanding human nature, whether the mind is the same thing as the body, whether you have free will and moral responsibility or not, say. The relationship between science and theology, issues in aesthetics. We cover quite a broad range of issues at an introductory level that would be good for use at sort of A-level students, college students, and undergraduate university students. In the book, I define a philosopher as someone who is dedicating themselves to the wise pursuit of true answers to really significant questions through the practice of good intellectual habits. So it's something about truth in matters of real significance, and finding and defending that truth in those matters through thinking very hard, very carefully about things. Philosophy is actually foundational to the whole question of spirituality. As well. Spirituality can be bandied around in very vague terms, but I give you a theory of spirituality in this book, whereby spirituality is to do with the combination of your head and your heart and your hands, if you like. That is how you think about things, particularly your worldview beliefs about what is real, what is true. The attitudes and commitments of your heart towards how you believe reality to be. And that combination of how you think things are and how you are attitudinally responding to how you think things are will tend to lead you to behave and act in the world in certain ways that are characteristic of that worldview and that spirituality. And so philosophy deals with thinking wisely about what you believe about reality and how that flows out into the whole of one's life and spirituality, your way of life as well. Truth, very simply put, is telling it how it is. So if the cat is sitting on the mat and I say the cat is on the mat, then I've said something true. I've said something true about the truth of reality. There's the facts of the matter, and then I issue a truth claim that accurately represents the fact of the matter, and that is to speak the truth about reality. Some people say they don't believe in truth, or there isn't any such thing of truth. I would immediately want to ask such a person, do you think that that's true? If they don't think it's true, then they're not really seriously advancing that claim, and we needn't pay them any more attention. If they're seriously advancing the claim that it is true that there is no truth, they're issuing a self-contradictory claim that cannot be true. It is undeniable that there is truth, and it is indeed undeniable that we can know some truths about reality. In terms of what knowledge is, to know something, you have to have a belief about it that's true. So you have a belief, that belief has to be true, and most philosophers would add that you need some other condition to be fulfilled in order to have knowledge. be it that you have arrived at that true belief through some generally reliable belief-forming mechanism, for example, or that you have some reasonable grounds for your belief, that you haven't just plucked a belief at random out of the air and said, I believe that, and if you happened to be lucky that that was true, would that count as knowledge or not? That's an interesting discussion that we raise briefly in the book. So how does knowledge relate to faith? Well, in this, that to have faith in someone, such as God, one has to believe that you know something about them, at the very least that they're there, because there's no point in putting your trust in someone who isn't real, and that they have a certain trustworthy character. There's no point in trusting someone who is unreliable, obviously. So religious people, when they talk about having faith, they do not mean blind faith. This is a complete misportrayal of the meaning of the definition of faith that's put forward by certain new atheist writers, who will say to have faith is to have blind faith. It means believing in the absence of evidence, or even believing in the teeth of evidence. It does not mean that at all. In the original languages of the Bible, it means having a well-placed, well-grounded trust in someone.